And the first part of the meeting is pull request demonstration. Anybody would like to volunteer and start the
Maybe I
demo?
can.
Go ahead, Alex.
Okay, 1 second. I will share my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So on previous week, I finished work on this fix and refactoring issue. We had the technical meeting and with Sergey about the current implementation, and Sergey suggested to make some adjustments. So now we do not save the source image URL into the media gallery grid. So we generate it on the fly. And we also found an interesting issue with the generating assets during the CLI command execution. So it was the reason why we had broken media asset URL. So it was fixed, and right now the media gallery with the provided pull request looks like this. So grid, I mean media gallery grid. So as you can see, we have a source image icon, and we also fixed this issue with the overlay Adobe Stock and unlicensed, as understood. So this request, this pull request was reviewed. I implemented all additional changes, and yeah, it's ready to be just finalized and reviewed. It's what about the pull request, but I want to just raise one question or maybe discussion about one function which I found in the update assets grid. You see that the base name PHP default function marked as like a discouraged function by the Magento coding standards, as I can see. And also I found that this base name function in the PHP documentation marked like potentially just, you should be aware of using this function because you need to set the set locale function, use the set locale function. I checked the Magento framework and I didn't find any function which covered this base name functionality. So my question is next, should we change the base name maybe to another function? I mean, maybe we can get the file destination with another way, or just still use the base name. So this is my question.
Yes, sure. I think we should take a look at the Magento file system library. If it provides the ability to get the file name, then the Magento framework is definitely preferable. If there is no suitable functionality for us, then we can take a look at other native PHP functions that are not discouraged.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because just I think that maybe sometimes it's better to use the PHP built-in functions if there are no potential risks. But here, why I paid so attention is just this comment. It is possible maybe just to have a complicated file system folder structure with long names and maybe consist of some other symbols, and you need to set the locale. But we do not set the locale, so yeah, that's why I will try to maybe refactor this in the next pull request in order not to block this one. Yeah, maybe that's all from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Very good catch. And thanks for the pull request for the implementation of
Thank you.
new icon indexing. Good. Who wants to go next?
Maybe I can.
Go ahead, Shankar.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen right now. Are you guys able to see the screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. So the first pull request I just created is the language translation dictionary, which should be added in every module as we have added. So I've created a simple pull request for translation dictionary to be added, and we are just running a translation command to create the dictionary automatically using the translation command. So basically, I ran the translation command for the mentioned applicable modules. So that's the first pull request, and another pull request is for the refactoring of the admin media gallery, admin UI related changes. So basically, I found that there's some media gallery admin UI are in the Adobe Stock image, which should be present in the Adobe Stock image admin UI. So I created a pull request and just moved the classes from the Adobe Stock image to Adobe Stock image admin UI. So basically, that's it. I think is done in the Magento contribution day, I guess. This is the license and unlicensed, and also added a localization for the translation for licensed and unlicensed images. Yeah, that's it. And I have a question regarding this option source interface. As uh, we have created a lot of option source interface class like this, just implement a class and just implement an interface for this. I think we should refactor these classes and create a virtual type and just add those virtual type to the grid. Is it possible?
Well, actually, virtual types are not recommended right now for use in Magento implementation, so I don't think that would be a good idea. It's okay to keep the option source interface for each filter we are providing. Maybe we can optimize the implementation by unifying some of them if they are similar. But yeah, I wouldn't create virtual types for those.
What's the reason why we can't create the virtual type for these options?
Can't answer this question right now. I will post to the chat with the reasons later. Okay.
Okay, but I just checked the admin grid buttons. As you see, the delete, add new button are those implemented now via virtual type. So I just thought that we can use the same logic here by creating a virtual type for this, because we are creating every block file for the add new buttons and for those. So I found that, so I just asked this question.
Yeah, virtual types is a nice feature and it was heavily used before, but right now we are trying to go away from virtual types. Yeah, I will try to
Okay.
argument that in the chat later because I
Okay. Yeah.
don't remember
Okay.
all the
Thanks.
reasons right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
No problem. Thanks. That's it.
Thanks for pull request and thanks for suggestion for your attention to the code.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank.
Alex, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to ask, as understood, you will put a note in the channel about the virtual types, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
In
Thank
Slack,
you. So I
yeah.
got to, okay, but there are no any points in the developer documentation, right, about this?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay, thank you. We will wait because this is very widely used feature, and it will be great to understand the just dark side of virtual types. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. Who's next?
Hi, Sergey. I actually have a doubt on why we shouldn't use object managers for the test class setup method.
Yeah, so object manager for unit tests is a really helpful thing because object manager helper that is created for unit test is actually mocking all the dependencies if they are not provided and passing the dependencies if they are provided to the class. That makes the test much more sustainable. For example, if the dependencies will be reordered in the constructor, that sometimes happens. It's okay for DI, it's okay for object manager, but the test will fail in this case if object manager helper is not used in the test. Also, it happens that sometimes classes are developed further and more dependencies are added. So if the dependency will be added to the class, the test will fail as well, like just because there were not enough arguments applied to constructor. But in case of using object manager, it will still work. And
I understand.
actually, having the object manager in place, it's also easier to work further on the test, like provide the additional arguments and stuff.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you. But then I was wondering, wouldn't it be better if an error is thrown when the original constructor is modified so that the developer who is changing the original constructor would know to change or modify the test constructor too? I mean, the setup method.
Yeah,
or else it would just not be thrown, right? Like.
Yeah. The thing is that it's just not. So the setup is not the test itself, right? If the unit test contains testing without specific functionality out of the class, it shouldn't fail if the dependency was added that is not related to that test, to that particular test. That's my opinion. So in case the dependency is added and you want to check the functionality is not affected, you can run the test and they should be green in this case. And then and you can add the test for the added functionality and added dependency later or sooner. It just decouples, removes the dependency between tests and implementation. Removes the sensitivity and dependency between test and implementation and makes the test more flexible and less failing in case of any change of the code. So more stable. Does it make sense?
Thank you. Yep, all good. I understand now. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. Are you demoing any pull requests today, by the way, Adarsh?
I don't think so. I just created a PR to add the cancel button to the enhanced media gallery, and that was merged a couple of days ago. And the other PR I'm working on is the unit tests right now. So that's about it from my side for this week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else would like to show something or raise any questions?
I have a question regarding Magento reindex, media gallery reindex. It might be a useless question because I haven't attended the reindex meeting. So I just thinking that why we are not using a custom indexer and we use the custom command.
The reason for that is, you mean why are we not using the indexer like Magento indexer, the standard one?
Yeah.
The reason for that is that our indexer, actually we thought about using Magento indexer or even adding some functionality to system configuration. However, this indexer that we are implementing for Media Gallery will probably be required to run just once after the upgrade or after installation. There is usually no need to run this index again unless there are some manual changes to file system without interaction with the admin panel, with the front end. As after all images are in place, like after the upgrade from previous version, we can run the index to populate the table, because before we were not populating the media gallery assets table because the functionality was not in place and table was not in place. But then our functionality is going to keep the table up to date anyway. Basically, if you are installing the Magento from scratch, I mean the latest Magento with latest Adobe Stock Integration, you will not need to run the indexer because you'll have 0 images at the beginning, and as you are uploading new images or saving images from Adobe Stock Integration, you're supposed to fill the media gallery asset table just as a result of actions performed in admin panel. So in this, considering this, the indexing, media gallery indexing is a kind of manual tool for the developers to use during upgrades or during some manual operation stuff on the environment, like copying images to file system directly. It's not something that should run by cron or be triggered by admin user from time to time.
Okay, so what if just a user just copy paste an image from one directory to another directory? So every time if a user or a merchant or developer just copy pasting a image from one directory to another directory, like from like local to server. So every time he needs to run the indexer command to update the table and show in the backend.
Yeah, if he does it via SFTP, for example, if the user uploads images via FTP, yeah, he needs to run the indexer.
So it just increases the work for both developer and just and it's also creating problems if just the user or merchant just trying to view the image in the Magento and he is not able to find that image. It can create a problem. So how can we encounter this issue? Like every time he needs to just run the command if he updates the directory.
But
Yes, Alex?
Oh, okay. But yeah, Shankar, thank you for your question. And I also thought about it. And I understood that this is a responsibility of a admin and a server admin and the way how you use this tool, because every image in Magento appears in a Magento, right, from the admin system. So if you change the file destination manually from the FTP connection or another way, it means that you act with the image file with Magento ignorance. So you ignore Magento and operate with the object which related to the Magento. And this is not maybe the standard way. So if this is not a standard way, it means that you need to provide some not standard solution. I think so. So previously, I also thought that we should create some auto index, but right now I see maybe there's no need to do this. What do you think about this?
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Yeah, but as a business logic point of view, but nobody going to use the enhanced media gallery because every time he developer or merchant needs to run the command and update the image. Because still I have found a lot of merchants or users are still using FTP and SFTP.
Sorry, what case, how you can just, okay, you upload the image, right? From the
Yeah,
SFTP, and how you will use it?
yeah.
You just open the Wing editor and you see this image.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
correct. So if we put the enhanced media gallery, so the same image will not show in the enhanced media gallery in the new UI. So it will create a huge problem for those users because merchants and every user are mostly using are currently a lot of people are still using those FTP or FTP SFTP standard methods. A lot of us still not going to migrate to GIT or any other stuff. So Docker or those. So there are a lot of people still using SFTP. So I just thought if every time a user uploads an image and try to view in the enhanced media gallery, so he's not going to see the same image in the grid. So he's going to raise questions or bugs like my image is not showing in the grid. And we are just suggesting that you need to run every time you need to run a reindex or media gallery in a update command to get the image on the grid in the backend. So it will create a huge problem, I guess.
Well, our advice is not to run the indexer each time the images are added via FTP, but to upload images via media gallery. Why would you go to FTP if you can access the media gallery from Magento admin panel and upload images comfortably there? Also, there is one more reason for not allowing admin user to run the indexer command or reindex, because that can be quite heavy, resource consuming if there are lots of images in the file system. And like considering like if the user works in admin panel only, if that's like full standard, let's say standard Magento admin, he doesn't need to run the index. If the user accesses the file system from FTP, it is our assumption that he is technical enough to run the command to reindex images. I'm not sure. That's a good question for Olena as well. Olena, do you have any opinion on?
Can you repeat the question?
So currently we are handling all the updates to the images in new media gallery from the admin panel interface. And we also have a command line tool to update, like, let's say, hard reset to update all the information stored in database based on the current file system. So there is a concern that a lot of Magento admins are adding images to the media folder via FTP, just via the file system without interaction with admin panel. And yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, that's basically it. If you have started.
Yeah, so I also acknowledge that, and I started looking into options how we can support kind of the I guess like import-export procedure where we allow not to only push all of the images to FTP, but also there is a form we support inclusion, the keywords and other metadata. So I looked into different file format that supports that metadata. So this is something that we definitely need to consider to kind of enable mass upload and also support the new capabilities that we have with the metadata with the images. So that's totally valid question.
Yeah, thanks. But actually, the concern is so we can provide the upload ability from Magento admin, but I guess the question is more like how we are going to approach the merchants that have used to upload images only in the file system without any interaction with Magento application. And if the images will be added to the media gallery, bypassing Magento application will not register those images and they will not appear in the media gallery.
But what about this reindexing that we are?
Well, until they run the index command, yeah. If they will not run the index command, they will not see those images. But the index command is just CLI command. There is no interface for running this index because it can be resource consuming, because it's considered to be one-time tool for upgrades.
But if they upload images to the file system, they most likely are familiar with the CLI command interface, right? I assume so.
That was my opinion. Anyway, that will add another step for them to do after the upload images.
That was my understanding. Like from the file perspective, they need to upload the files and run this command to kind of update the media gallery interface also. But what kind of was missing in like this use case from my perspective is what would be the option for them to add the metadata to those images bypassing the media gallery interface. So, I mean, imagine there is a digital agency that is responsible for producing all of the assets for the particular merchants, and they are delivering those assets, and they need to upload them, and they need to kind of provide the metadata. What would be the interface for them to do that?
Well, I guess it's covered in the view details. We should be able to add the keywords for the image, right? And the metadata like width, height that we are displaying right now in our media gallery, it will be calculated based on image without any additional input.
But what about keywords?
Yeah, so there is a story to add the ability to add keywords, edit keywords in the media gallery, in the view details slide panel.
Sure, but imagine that they uploaded like 100 images via FTP, so they need to go to the Magento media gallery interface and go one by one through those images and update the metadata manually. It's just like very tedious work.
Yeah, I believe another
so the way
option.
So the way how other DAM manages that, they support some kind of format for file format for inserting their image metadata. So like EXIF file is one of their options, but also there are other formats that support like more business data than just like photo-specific data that can be injected and then read by the system. So this is something that I'm looking into.
Yeah, we can consider trying to get metadata from images, but we have to check what kind of dependencies we'll need for that.
What do you mean?
I mean additional libraries to parse this metadata.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
But yeah, anyways, that's the second question. We are discussing two questions here, and the first one is about like making it more comfortable for admins. So yes, Shankar, our approach is, I guess, that we expect admin to upload images from the Magento application, from the admin panel. Probably we should do something to make it more comfortable for mass upload. That is our position. However, if you would like to take a look on how we can simplify that for admin user, I guess we can try just to research the possibility of like checking if file system was changed, if file system is changed, if we'll find the not resource consuming way to do so. I think it's realistic to create the indexer that will run as a cron job, checking if file system, if media directory was updated, and if it was updated, then updating images in the media gallery. That's kind of one of the solutions that can remove the need to run reindex manually after manual approach to Magento. But still we have to consider performance if we are going to research that direction.
Yes, we can use the cron, or we can use the rabbit message queue for updating the table. Rabbit message queue is also a good option to asynchronously run those commands simultaneously.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean that if we would like to check the file system once in some specific period of time, that can be done by cron. And the RabbitMQ, it can be used later. For example, if we are checking the file system each 15 minutes, if file system is changed, we are submitting the job to RabbitMQ to reindex the Magento. That can be an option. But if we are going to scan the file system each 15 minutes, we have to do it in a really performant and not resource-consuming way.
And
right?
Because merchant won't wait for like 15 minutes after adding an image. So I think we need to do it as quick as possible. Like if you add an image and you just wait for 15 minutes to index to happen. So it's like a really bad scenario for a merchant to just wait for 15 minutes to get an image showing on the Magento grid.
Yeah, that's why I think that at this point we should try to promote adding images to Magento via our admin panel. Like, I don't see any reason why you'd like to add images. You would like to add images from the SFTP or FTP if it's much easier to do from the admin panel anyway. Yeah, and we should ensure that the media gallery, the new media gallery that we are developing, allows to add images in a comfortable way for admin user.
Yeah, but I think media gallery doesn't have multiple upload, I guess, but not sure though. But I think multiple upload is not possible, and it's if multiple uploads are mass upload added to
Mass,
multiple
ma-
directories, like if yeah, yes, Olena.
so mass upload is already supported now, but you're right, it's not possible to kind of upload the images that are already grouped by folders. So, like if you selected on your local machine like couple of folders, uh, they will be just uploaded as individual images into the folder that you selected in the media gallery. At least this is current behavior.
Yes, that's why I was thinking that we should find some any alternative apart from this command. Yeah, we
Yeah,
will look to this and we will if we found any solution for this, I will definitely talk with Sergi or even add to the Slack channel so everyone will participate and give their opinions.
yeah,
Yeah,
folder
Thanks.
structure is important thing.
Okay. Uh, yeah,
may I
let's.
add one comment?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. So just I want to say that any solution based on, for example, RabbitMQ or other system just for this indexing process automation, from my point of view, is not suitable because with this you make this functionality to be required. But for example, Community Edition or Enterprise Edition, they are not required to have RabbitMQ installed to operate. So this is why I think that any solution for automating file system status check should be just like a customization. Magento is just like a simple framework. This reindex command is complete enough to do. And if you upload something, just run this command. It's only my point, but Shankar, if you will find any other quick and really suitable solution, it will be really, really, really great. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, thanks for your opinion, Alex.
Yeah, thank you for you.
Yeah, well, cron jobs are part of open source and they're essential part of Magento, so they can be run. Actually, I don't think it matters too much if the operation of reindex that is initiated by cron job will be executed as a job in RabbitMQ, or will it be executed as part of that cron job? Because the cron job is basically an asynchronous operations as well. It doesn't hold the user interface, right? The only issue to be aware here is just not to hold it too long to have conflicts with another cron job that is running. But there is such conflicts prevention system in place, I believe. But anyway, yeah, let's take this discussion offline and see if there are any good options. That will be good to discuss them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks for bringing this up. Olena or Nizan, are there any updates from you? Any new
no,
mockups to share?
No, no.
Okay, and I just want to return to that second question that we discussed as for parsing the image metadata. That's still under research, right? Under the investigation.
Yeah, I don't have lots of background on that, so I'm looking into like how other DAM systems handle that. So it's kind of time-consuming process from my side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that after we'll complete the upload functionality for the new media gallery, probably we have to enable the multiple upload, handle the multiple upload as well, right?
So is
Yeah,
it possible to handle not like multiple upload is supported right now? So when you upload the images, you can select multiple images and they are uploaded. I don't think the mass upload is a problem by itself. Creating a folder based on the folder structure that images are organized on a local machine. This is, I guess, the kind of use case.
Yeah, we can take a look in this direction as well.
Is this technically possible?
I don't know.
Okay, fair answer.
I have to check it.
Yeah, I would be curious to understand that because I guess this is the main reason why people use FTP. I mean, maybe if they upload their huge amount of assets, it's another reason why they use FTP, obviously. But for like reasonable number of images that even the browser can handle with no problems, I guess like folder structure is the key reason why it's not possible to do with the web browser.
Okay, I will investigate this question. Probably if there will be ability for us to do so, then the question about indexing will not be actual, right?
So that I mean, it depends on like what is the number of images that user can upload via media gallery interface. Like if it's 100 high resolution images, it's kind of might be really not performance efficient.
Well, yeah, the big amount of images will definitely require lots of time to upload. I'm not sure if we are supporting a large number of images or how many images are we supporting right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe some unlimited or limited only by resources, or maybe there is some limit. I still have to take a look at it.
Yeah. Some clients use the PIM core system, for example, or other system to upload products just from the ERP systems. And I think we also should just catch the events when the product created and some image assigned on it from the third-party system.
Well, we are not actually working with product images.
Exactly.
But the CMS page is also created with the help of the PIM core systems.
So the integration is adding the images to the file system and inserts the content to the database, right?
Yeah, right. So you create, for example, a new blog or a new just page for your campaigns, and you use the general Magento API, or you save this CMS blog and page. So maybe this also should be just taken into account.
Well, if those extensions are using the Magento entry points for saving images, then we are covered because we have plugins on those events.
Right. Okay, yeah, then it's great.
But yeah, if they are just putting the files to the file system without Magento application, then it's the same problem as for manual upload, I'd say.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay, guys, anything else to discuss? Okay, good. So that was a productive
Yeah,
meeting. Lots of, yeah.
I just have a question regarding, as we have discussed that we are going to introduce the resizing of the image. So are we going to start working on those functionality?
Well, right now we are waiting for mockups, I guess, for the finalized idea how the resize functionality will look like. But yeah, probably we can start inserting just the functionality without any finalized front end, let's say. But I guess that that will be part of the process of inserting the image to the content, and also there will be ability to resize it from the context menu, right, Elena?
So, yeah, I mean,
So
the
the first one
visuals
is
are
when
not.
the image is inserted. I'm just asking about the entry points. And the second entry point is like those three dots under the image context menu, and there will be an option to resize it, or from the view details.
So speaking about image renditions, we want to have the ability for merchants to generate those renditions upfront, outside of inserting the particular image into the content. So again, getting back to the use case with the digital agency. So when they upload their image renditions, the images they can also provide the parameters for their renditions upfront and associate those renditions with certain breakpoints by default. So like a recommended way where to use each rendition. Like I created a smaller image for mobile devices, and I say this is what I recommend to use on a mobile device. And when content editor inserts the image, they see the recommended rendition selected on a particular breakpoint, like selected to use on a particular breakpoint, but they have an option to change that and generate new renditions if they need. So you're right, there would be like 2 entry points for the user to generate renditions.
Okay, so what is the entry points to generate renditions ahead on the interface? I mean.
So as we discussed, we are going to have, and I already have that story on our backlog. We need to have the interface of media gallery available from the main navigation. So we assume that it's gonna be content main navigation, and we need to create a new group for the media gallery. So currently we have like pages, elements, and we need to have a new group and place the link to the media gallery there. So that would open the interface of media gallery on a page, not on a slide out panel. And obviously insert the image button wouldn't be there. but that would be the interface for user to upload the images, manage images, metadata, create folders, organize images the way they like. So like the main entry point to actually manage the assets.
Okay, good. But yeah, the more detailed question, just when you see the media gallery in front of you opened, how did you assess the renditions? Is it selecting the image and then clicking the button, or?
I mean, this is definitely something for UX to specify.
Okay, we are not sure yet. Right?
Yeah, so based on the previous mockups that Eugene created, there was like a contextual menu. When you click on the image, you have this small menu like view details. The license button is already there, so that kind of contextual menu should navigate user to those renditions. But how exactly that's gonna be organized, it's for Nitsam to define.
Okay.
Yeah, from my point, I think it should be one from the image gallery and another entry point to that from the image details page. So.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarification. So what I wanted to say is that even if we would like to start working on the backend side of the renditions, like we'll need to create the backend processing, the association between images and their generated renditions. But I think first we have to create the entry points for the renditions functionality itself. And those are, the first one is add selected button to the media gallery. It's not implemented yet. That's the task that is ready for development, probably, if nobody have taken it yet. And the view details slide panel. So once those are ready, we can start developing the resize functionality.
Okay, great.
Thanks. Okay, so that was 1 hour. I see that we moved the meeting 2 hours earlier, and everybody is much more energized. Lots of ideas, lots of really productive discussions here. I have lots of interesting stuff written down here for me to investigate and to research. So thanks, guys, for such active participation at the meeting. Thank you for your contributions. Thanks for your work. And talk to you offline. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks.